Hi there, just to say this is a short snippet from this week's main episode, which was published on Wednesday as always. If you want the full episode, you can find it just below this one. Remember the definition of psychology being the study of why we are the way we are. I know I've done that to death, but it's simple but very powerful, this definition. I'm going to make a claim here that, as I've said, will alter how you see psychology and how you see yourself forever. I'm going to claim that all of our traits, all of the ways we are, and there are many of those ways, have deep and fundamental reasons, and that through careful introspection, self-observation, and inner work, we can discover them and change them if need be. So that's quite a dramatic claim that I'm making. And I think it's interesting to comment that from a personal point of view, when I say deep fundamental reasons, I'm not really talking about genetics. I don't believe in genetics all that much. I really don't. I don't believe in it. When we're talking about human psychology, I do not believe in genetics very much. And we're going to talk about this a lot more this month. What I'm saying is that there are fundamental reasons that you are the way you are. And these are things that you can actually discover and change yourself. They're not genetically bound or determined. They're not because you are wired a certain way, as we like to say informally, and that is the way you're going to be forever. And it's not that you need to get medicine and you need to do this and that. It's actually a lot of it, and a great majority of it, is things that are actually in your direct control, that you can learn to see for yourself, that you can learn to discover and understand why they came to be that way. And there are things you can change through conscious work. And the main insight I'm using here to ground what I'm saying is that your psychology is not external to you. In other words, the way you are is not external to you. Now, that might sound obvious, but whenever we give when we give people medicine, and when we talk about the brain, and we talk about our genetics, and we talk about people being wired a certain way, we're basically externalizing the problem. Now, obviously, your brain isn't external to you. Your genetics are not external to you. But it's the way we talk about it. It's the way we talk about it in a very sort of conceptual, abstract, predetermined way that I think is fundamentally disempowering for people, and it's not accurate, because the way you are is not invisible. It's not invisible. The way you are is by definition visible, because we're saying it's the way you are. Obviously, that is a visible thing. The way you speak to people is very visible. Your habits are very visible. I'm just looking back to see the different things we've talked about. Your aversions are visible. Your defenses are visible. Your weaknesses, your strengths, your needs, your worldview, your life story, all of this is very visible. And it's not just visible to other people, which is helpful because that can be a good way to get feedback and a good way to understand why you are the way you are. But it's visible to you from the inside. Now, that's quite a big claim I'm making, but also I'm really sort of putting a lot of faith in introspection and in self-awareness, because I think this is just so powerful and so fundamental, and that these factors can be brought into conscious awareness. That doesn't mean that there aren't factors that are beyond our conscious awareness. Now, I'm not saying that, for example, if you look at sort of the collective aspects of why we are the way we are, things like the culture and the social milieu and the political situation, the economic situation, the technological situation. I'm not saying that you're going to know everything about the way you are, but what I'm saying is that the actual way that you are, not the reasons behind it, the way you actually are, is visible to you and it's visible to other people. It obviously depends on how aware and tuned in they are and how aware and tuned in you are, but fundamentally they are available to introspection, and they are available to you becoming aware of them. Okay? Hi there, just to say this is a short snippet from this week's main episode, which was published on Wednesday as always. If you want the full episode, you can find it just below this one.